So let us do another simple example of calculation of the equation which we solve in finite element analysis, which is simply this. So let us take a simple bar, and this bar, if it elongates, so that means if there is an elongation on it with an application of force P, then how will you define P, assuming that this is following Hooke's law? So it is following linear elastic behavior of this format. So we know that force divided by area is the stress, and that will be equal to the elastic modulus into delta L by L. So this dimension is L, and whatever elongation happens in this is delta L. E is the elastic modulus, P is the force applied, and the cross-sectional area is A. So having said that, now we have to look at this equation with the perspective of this. Okay, so P, the force, if I have to write that, then that will be equal to A into E and divided by L into whatever extension happens, which is delta L. And in our this nomenclature, I can simply write it as F is equal to AE by L into U. Okay, so you see the similarity, and then you know that this is the stiffness. Okay, this is the stiffness of the bar, and this stiffness of the bar can also be representative of a spring. So I can write F is equal to K into X, where K is the stiffness of a spring and X is the change in the length of the spring. Okay, so that's how stiffness comes. And now let us look at this bar and let us see what happens if we try different configuration of loads. So now let us also look at this bar as a perspective of having this as an element in one dimension. So this is an element E, also it is a bar, and we actually have only two nodes. So one node is here, another node is here. It is actually a one-dimensional entity, although I have drawn a rectangle. So node includes these two edges. So don't think that these two are two different nodes. So one-dimensional elemental representation will be this for this one. Okay. Now, how do we define stiffness? We define stiffness as the resistance offered in order to have a unit extension. A unit extension. Okay. If a unit extension happens, then we get this stiffness value correctly. Okay. So K is basically the force required to cause unit extension. Okay, so this extension can also be compression. It just means change in length, and it can be force appearing because of displacement also. So not just, so you can also have a reverse kind of thing. So you actually apply a unit extension or compression, and whatever force appears because of that extension or compression can also be called stiffness. And it's just that the displacement has to be unity. So what we are trying to say here is that if U is 1, then this force is the stiffness. Yeah. So F is equal to Kx, and if K is equal to 1, sorry, X is equal to 1, then F is equal to K, and that's the definition of stiffness. Now let us look at this perspective of stiffness definition. So now let us have So let me have the edges confirmed. So let us have something like this, and then here also, and now let us apply. So you know that stiffness actually is Kij, right? And F is usually I and U is J. So if I have to write Fi, that will be equal to Kij Uj. Okay? So Kij means the force because of, so the force at J because of the displacement at I. Okay? And we will look at it, how it comes up. So let us say that I am applying, or I am either applying force or I am applying displacement, one of these I am applying in such a way that this bar is compressed. Okay, so this bar is now compressed by this amount. And what is that amount? That amount is U. And this U is unity, but let us for now take it as, or we can define it. So we define that the displacement we are offering at node number 1 is 1.0 units, and displacement at node number 2 we are defining as 0. Okay, so if we are doing that, then there will be forces coming up, and those forces, so what will be the force and what will be the direction of the force? So because d1 is 1 in positive x direction, so we will have a force in positive x direction, and that force will be equal to A into E divided by L. That's it, right? And so let me do this one like this, and because here I have 0 displacement, and therefore I will have a reaction force, because so this bar is in compression, right? And because of this compression I will have a reaction force, Newton's third law, and that will be in this direction, right? And what will be the amount of that? The amount of that will be also AE by L, because the displacement is unity, elastic modulus or the stiffness of the bar will remain unchanged. Okay, so now we have established this, and we have to tell that what is the stiffness value. So this force is coming because of the displacement offered at node number 1, and the force is also coming at node number 1. So that is K, force offered because of the displacement at node number 1 on node number 1. So that is K11. Okay, and K11 is what? K11 is AE divided by L. Now this one is the force because of the displacement offered at node number 1 and being felt at node number 2. So node number 2 displacement at node number 1, so that becomes K21, and because the direction of this force is opposite, so in the negative x direction, if this is my x-axis, then this is minus AE by L. Okay. So that is that. Now let us try another configuration. So we try another configuration where we apply a displacement at node number 2. So here we apply displacement at node number 1, and here we are applying a displacement at node number 2, because of which we have an extension. So you see this bar is in compression and this bar is in tension now. So because this is in tension, now let us look at the forces. So the force, because we are pulling in this direction, I will have a reaction force in this direction, and again the amount will be AE by L, and here because I am extending it by an amount, so let me write that also. So I have d1 is equal to 0, so here is d1, and d2 is equal to 1.0 units. Okay, so whatever is the unit. And you see in both cases I have applied displacement in positive x direction, so I am keeping displacement positive values. Okay, and because d2 is 1.0, I will have a force in this direction, in tensile direction, and that will have an amount also AE by L. Okay, so, and this one will be negative AE by L, this is also negative AE by L. Now let us look at the stiffness values. So this one here is K because of displacement applied on the second node, right? Displacement applied, so here how we did, so here we got this one as stiffness at node number 2 because of displacement at node number 1. So this one is the stiffness at node number 1 because of the displacement at node number 2. So this is K12 and the amount is minus AE by L. Similarly, this one we will have K, so stiffness at node number 2 because of displacement at node number 2 is equal to AE by L. Okay, so this is the whole picture, and now let us say that we have a situation where we are applying so these are the elemental stiffness matrix. So if I look at any of these element, okay, if I look at any of these element, then KE is the stiffness matrix of that element, and I can write that so I can write the stiffness matrix of one of the element as this. Yeah, and I can calculate forces F is equal to, so this is my column vector, force vector is equal to A by L 1 minus 1 minus 1 1 into D1 and D2, and here I will have F1 and F2. Okay, this is for one dimensional element where I can have force F1 which can be positive, negative, F2, and displacements D1 and D2. Okay, and this is how it will be. So if you have to calculate F1, then that will be AE by L, and then you will have D1 minus D2, and F2 will be AE by L minus D1 plus D2. Yeah, so these are the two equations which are written in this format, and that's how you get this equation, and you can see the resemblance because of D1 applied here and D2 applied there. Okay, so in one bar you can have both, and because I have broken that, so application of displacement at node number 1 and node number 2, I have broken that, so you get only two components here, two components there, and then you assemble these two, and that's how you get the whole elemental matrix. Okay, so that is all for today's lecture.